The Lonely Rabbit. In a quiet, lush forest surrounded by tall, ancient trees and soft, mossy ground, there lived a young rabbit named Clover. Clover wasn't like the other rabbits in the forest. While most rabbits were brown, gray, or white, Clover's fur shimmered in a unique blend of gold and silver, sparkling under the sunlight like dew on grass. At first, Clover thought his fur was special. Maybe it makes me lucky, he would tell himself. But as he grew older, he realized the other rabbits didn't see it the same way. They whispered when he passed by. "Why does he look so strange?" one would ask. "He's not one of us," another would reply. Clover felt their words like small stones thrown at his heart. He tried to ignore them, hoping that one day they would see past his fur and notice the kindness he carried inside. One sunny afternoon, Clover approached a group of rabbits playing tag near the berry bushes. He stood at the edge, his heart thudding nervously. Finally, he took a deep breath and asked, "Can I join your game?" The rabbits stopped and stared at him. A young brown rabbit with a twitchy nose stepped forward, a sly grin on his face. "Why would we let you play with us? Your shiny fur will scare the birds away." The others laughed, and Clover's ears drooped in shame. He turned and hopped away, trying to hide the tears that spilled down his cheeks. Clover spent most of his days alone, wandering through the quiet parts of the forest where no one could laugh at him. He explored the hidden corners, from the sparkling streams to the shadowy groves. He would sit by the water's edge, staring at his reflection. "Why am I so different?" he whispered to himself. "Why can't I be like them?" One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of pink and orange, Clover heard a soft sound. It was faint at first, but it grew louder, a cry filled with fear. Curious, Clover followed the sound through the trees until he reached a small clearing. There, lying in the grass, was a tiny bird with a broken wing. Clover's heart ached at the sight. He hopped closer, his movements gentle so as not to frighten the bird. "Are you hurt?" he asked softly. The bird looked up at him with tearful eyes. "Yes," it said in a trembling voice. "I fell from my nest, and now I can't fly back." Clover thought for a moment. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll help you." Using his strong legs, Clover hopped high into the air, scanning the nearby trees. He spotted the bird's nest perched on a low branch of a sturdy oak tree. Carefully, he picked up the bird with his soft paws and placed it back in its nest. The little bird looked at Clover with gratitude. "Thank you," it chirped weakly. "I was so scared. No one else came to help me." "You're welcome," Clover replied, a warm feeling spreading through his chest. "You're not alone anymore." The next day, the bird's family returned to the nest. They saw Clover sitting nearby, keeping watch over their injured chick. The mother bird chirped, "Thank you for helping our little one. You are very kind." From that day on, Clover wasn't entirely alone. The birds of the forest became his friends. They didn't care about his shimmering fur. To them, Clover was a hero, someone who saw a creature in need and acted with kindness. Still, Clover couldn't help but feel a pang of loneliness when he saw the other rabbits playing together. He longed to belong, to be accepted by his own kind. One afternoon, as Clover was hopping through a meadow filled with wildflowers, he heard laughter in the distance. Curious, he followed the sound and found a group of rabbits gathered under a big oak tree. They were playing a game of chase, their movements quick and full of joy. Clover hesitated, his heart pounding. "Maybe this time they'll let me join," he thought. Summoning all his courage, he hopped closer. "Hello," he said, his voice steady but soft. "May I play with you?" The rabbits turned to look at him, and for a moment no one spoke. Then the same brown rabbit with the twitchy nose stepped forward. "Oh, it's you again," he said with a sneer. "Why don't you just leave us alone? You're not like us." Clover's ears drooped, and he felt the familiar sting of rejection. But this time, something inside him stirred. A spark of courage. He stood tall, his voice firm. "Yes, I'm different," he said. "But being different doesn't mean I'm less. I helped a bird who was in trouble. What have you done to make the forest better?" The other rabbits blinked in surprise. They weren't used to Clover speaking up for himself. Just then, a flock of birds swooped down from the trees, chirping loudly. "Clover is our friend," they sang. "He is kind and brave. He helped us when we needed him. You should be proud to know him." The rabbits exchanged uneasy glances. Slowly, the brown rabbit stepped forward, his head lowered in shame. "We're sorry, Clover," he said. We didn't realize how special you are, Stay. Will you forgive us? Clover's heart softened. Of course, he said with a smile. But remember, being kind and accepting is what truly makes someone special. From that day on, Clover's life changed. The rabbits welcomed him into their games, and the birds continued to sing songs about his bravery. Clover learned that his golden and silver fur wasn't a curse, it was a gift, a reminder that being different could be beautiful. One day, a young rabbit approached Clover as he sat by the stream. The little one's fur was spotted with unusual patterns, unlike any other rabbit in the forest. Clover, the young rabbit said shyly, can I sit with you? The others say I look strange. Clover smiled warmly and made space beside him. You're welcome here, he said. Sometimes being different just means you have something special that others don't see yet. The young rabbit's eyes sparkled with hope, and together they watched the stream flow by, their reflections shimmering in the water like a quiet promise that no one is truly alone. Over time, the forest became a place where all creatures, no matter how different, could find friendship and belonging. And at the heart of it all was Clover, the rabbit who had once been lonely, but now had a family of friends who loved him for exactly who he was.